Yeah, not a day for working on the camper. Yeesh. As soon as I can, I'll get in the garage and play with the welder a little maybe. All right, it's too rainy to work outside, so I'm gonna practice welding with sheet metal. You're not gonna be able to see the weld probably because I'll be in front and I don't have a safety shield to protect the lenses, but basically what I'm gonna do is I've cut a piece of sheet metal and butted it up against each other. There's still a gap you can see through. So I want to try to find good settings that will allow me to weld this configuration so that without blowing through, so that when I put it up underneath in the car, in the RV, that I'll be able to weld it. So that's the plan. Let's see how it goes. I watched a video on this, and one of the things they did is turn the inductance way up. I have a Yes Welder 205 DS Pro. I'm not going to put a link, I don't do that. I've got it in synergetic MiG where it tries to match what it thinks is best. You do still have the ability to bump it left or right, up and down. So anyways, just going to do a quick little shot, see what it sounds like, see what it looks like, and then try to change it. Not much penetration, so I'm going to increase the voltage by 1 volt. That got penetration. It's a little bumpy. So I'm going to increase the inductance by 3. Only doing about a half a second because there's spot welds. That was good. Still quite a bump. The inductance up, the voltage up by 1.5. Definitely getting good penetration. I'll turn the voltage back down, leave the inductance up. Now I have a gap right there. That gap is where blowout always occurs with me. So first I'm doing the closest gaps, and then I'm going to try that other one. Looking pretty good. Let me try the gap now. You know, I forgot to turn on the other camera. So I'm going to go turn that on. Alright, I'm going to turn the voltage bump and the inductance bump all the way up. So with the Synergetic, you can add a max of 3 volts, and whatever inductance is, you can add a max of 10. So let me try it now. The video I watched the guy had the voltage or inductance way up, and he was doing it for about a second. I don't have a spot timer on here. I wish I did. That would make this so much easier. All right, that definitely moved. That went flatter, but it was a bit of a rougher start. Funny thing is that high voltage isn't penetrating as much. I mean, it is, but I think it's spreading out. Getting nice flat welds. I think I like this setting. Let me try some more. Definitely starting a little bit rough. It's going wider and spreading flatter, which I like. Let me turn the voltage down and see without the voltage. It still does the same. Oh, I like the sound of that, but it's not as wide. All right, let me turn the voltage back up. This time I'm going to turn the inductance down. Usually inductance makes it more splattering. Let's see if that happens. Did not even start. Let's try that again. That is very flat, and it went way through. So it seems like you need to have them both up if you don't want to go all the way through. That looks about perfect. Now I'm going to turn it back down to 0 and try to run a bead. Actually, I'll leave the voltage up 1.5. I'll turn the inductance down to 5. I want to see if I can run a bead without burning through on a vertical surface, because I'm definitely going to have to do that rather than stitch weld in like this. Went right through. All right, the next part is flanging. So I went to Harbor Freight. I got one of these pneumatic circumcising tools. Anyways, I've always wanted to try this. Real welders, of course, don't flange. I'm not a real welder. I don't got a problem with it. Let's see if this works. Oh my God, it works. Holy shit. That's really amazing. It's not great. This might be too thick. Not holding it straight, but it did flange it. There's my flange, and I did that because one of the ideas I have for dealing with the camper is to flange the piece right over it like that. Now if this isn't, it's not bending it perfectly, so I'm not getting it perfectly flat, but it is better than nothing. The other thing that this does, theoretically, is do a hole punch. And that works. Yeah, holes for spot welds. All right, next step for me is going to be to clamp this up and test it with the welder. Let's get that done and see how it goes. All right, here we go. I don't think I got the whole hole. Let me count 1 full second. 1/1000. That was a full 1 second. 1/1000. Yeah, I can see I'm not filling in all the way. I wonder if I should do a little loop. All right. There we go. Now just for shits and giggles, I'm going to run a bead along the edge. That was terrible. Turn the inductance down. That might work. One of my concerns is that I don't want to have that crack, because moisture will get in it even if I seal it. So I might TIG weld or MiG weld right along the edge to seal it. But last thing I want is burn through. Let's see what we got here. Oh, forgot to. Tip's staying pretty clean, but it's always nice to dip it in there. You hear that sizzle, and it cleans off your tip. All right. I'm only wearing my TIG gloves. All right, so the spot welds, except for that last one that I did much longer, the spot welds barely didn't penetrate all the way through. Doing the bead did. So this was just high inductance. It didn't really like that. When I turned the inductance down, it worked a little bit better. But the dots filled in okay, but I think I should use a thicker wire. So the spots didn't fill in. I didn't put enough metal in. I think for spot welding a butt seam, the 30.30 works good, but I think if I need to fill this hole, maybe I should bring it up to the 35. But all in all, successful test. I'm not a great welder, as you can see. Machine really helps. Those spot welds worked out really well. Yeah, I think that's good. I'm gonna call it for today. Do a close-up of the flanging. Even with my compressor off, it used a small enough amount that it did that. Let's see if I have enough to punch. Wonder where those holes go. Oh, there they go. They come out the top. Nice. So that was the flanging tool and practicing spot welding and seam welding, butt welding with sheet metal. I got to rewatch some of the videos. The videos I saw, he got a really good spot weld, stitch weld that didn't penetrate hardly at all through the back, but it was just right. I don't mind having it penetrate. This is not something you're going to be able to see. I'm not going to be grinding the stitches down. It's all going to be hidden. But it would be something I'd like to learn how to do properly. So, but that Yes Welder is a really good welder. I wasn't sure if I wanted to get one, but then I watched J-Bugs, a Volkswagen channel, and a guy bought a Yes Welder there. And then I watched another review of the Yes Welder by a guy that allegedly is a professional welder, and he had used it for over a year, and he said it was just wonderful. So I'm happy with it so far. I've done a few things with it, and it's a decent little thing. I don't miss the Lincoln. The Lincoln, of course, was fancier, much fancier, but this is good enough for who it's for, like I say. All right, next video should be either me cleaning out the bed. I don't know if I'll show that as part of this video series because I am going to be renovating the inside of the camper, and so I may just do a series on that. And then after that, it's going to be getting down to actually fabricating the sheet metal replacement. All right, I'll see you guys later.